People have always told me I have a sick sense of humor. I don't know how to take that. I assume it's relative. Who are you comparing me to? Carrot Top? Then yeah, I'm a little blue. In my group of friends, I am tame. My sister is off the charts. We play practical jokes on her constantly, though. I got her so good a couple weeks ago. I replaced her pepper spray with silly string. Anyway, that night she got raped, and the next day she calls me and is just like, "You son of a bitch. You got me so good." No, like as soon as I start spraying the guy in the face, you know, I'm just like, ah! Daniel! This is really gonna hurt. That is funny, actually. Well, that's fine, you can just... Oh, come on! Alright, you guys know what would be really funny? Is this girl got gang raped by just like 5 guys, just like right now. They just raped her. Oh, come on! That's funny. Last July, comedian Daniel Tosh came under fire for attacking an audience member with jokes about rape. While many rebelled fiercely, claiming that any jokes on rape are an attack on human decency, comedians of both genders leapt to Tosh's defense. With discourse regarding rape culture at an all-time high in the wake of the Steubenville verdict, we must reevaluate the use of humor as a tool to process something so utterly senseless and horrific. Ultimately, we must find our own answers to the question. Is it ever okay to make a rape joke? By examining the articles, How to Make a Rape Joke by Lindy West, Why Daniel Tosh's Rape Joke Wasn't Funny by Elisa Bassett, The Poetry, Raw Fish and Rape Jokes by Danielle Mathis, and stand-up comedy from Daniel Tosh, Dane Cook, Louis C.K., and Tig Notaro, we can decide for ourselves what's too far. However, we must acknowledge that lifting the embargo on rape jokes leaves room for dialogue, healing, and the ability to face inhuman acts in a human way. A program on how to make a rape joke. Okay, so the world is full of terrible things, including rape, and it is okay to joke about them. But the best comedians use their art to call bullshit on the terrible parts of life and make them better, not worse. You can be funny and edgy and creepy and offensive and trivial, and yes, you can talk about rape. But if you want people to not hate you, don't make the rape victim the butt of the joke. There's a word being thrown around we have to remove from our everyday vocabulary, and that word is raped. Do you ever, like, play online games, listen to what people are saying to each other? You know, they're just like, "Oh, dude, you just shot me in the back, man. You totally raped me." Now, I'm pretty sure if I were to, like, sit down with someone who's been through this horrible tragedy, you know, and just, like, look her in the eyes and be like, "Ma'am, can you explain to me what it's like to go through something so awful?" She's not going to look at me in the face and just be like, "Man, have you ever played Halo? Because it is just like getting hit in the back with a gravity hammer by a noob. Man, have you ever, like, taken your car in for an estimate, and then when you go to pick it back up, it is double? Because it is just like that." I think rape jokes can be funny, but I always walk away from them with a taste in my mouth, you know? Like, when I was 14, my mom took me to this 7-Eleven on the way to Iowa that sold these prepackaged California rolls in the cooler next to the Red Bull. It was my very first sushi experience, and it ended 10 miles later as I threw up raw fish into an Old Navy bag on the side of the highway. Now, anytime anyone even says the word sushi, I get that awful taste in my mouth, you know? I mean, I still want to talk about sushi. I don't want to pretend that it doesn't exist or that it didn't hurt me. And I can certainly still appreciate a good raw fish pun. I just always walk away from the conversation with that taste. Here's why Louis C.K.'s rape jokes don't make me feel like shit. I'm not condoning rape. Obviously, you should never rape anybody. Unless you have a really good reason. Like, if you really want to fuck somebody and they won't let you. And then, like, at that point, I don't see what other choice that you have. Louis C.K. spent the last 20 years making it very publicly clear that he's on the side of making things better. The oppressors don't win at the end of his jokes. And that's why it's okay to give Mr. C.K. the benefit of the doubt that this joke is making fun of rapists. When I was 16, I went on a date with this guy that I just met. He was older, and I was very naive. It was my very first sexual experience, and it ended after a midnight showing of You, Me, and Dupree with my face pushed into a pillow. It's a story that I was forced to repeat over and over again to friends and family and therapists. That's something that's a part of me now. It's something that shapes who I am and how I behave, and when you make jokes about it, I get that taste in my mouth of shame and sweat and helplessness. That said, when I hear a funny rape joke, I respond in the only way that I see appropriate. I laugh. So I recently did some shows down in Mexico, and like everywhere I go, the very first thing I do when I get to hotels is I put the Do Not Disturb sign on my door there, or for the Spanish speaking, No Moleste. Yeah, that felt really creepy, hanging on my door before bedtime, just like, nope, no moleste. Not tonight. You can try a few doors down. So, do I think rape jokes can be funny? I think anything can be funny. And I'll even take that a step further and say that jokes about rape can take on a fierce power. They can be cathartic and empowering and can help us gain control of something that we'll never really get back. But there is a distinction between making a joke to cope or point out the absurdity of a situation and what Tosh did, which was to use humor to humiliate someone who stood up for something she believed in. I laugh because when we aren't joking about it, we aren't talking about it. I laugh because laughing about it gives me even that tiniest bit of power against it. I laugh because when I'm laughing about it, I'm not crying about it. And for that gift, I say thank you. Thank you for taking the chance and talking about it and letting us know that that's okay. But to that same respect, when you say those words, it lets me know you don't understand anything about what rape is. You will never know what it's like to pick out what you wear in the morning based on how easy that would be for someone to rip off. You will never know what it's like to carry your car keys like a knife when you walk down the sidewalk, and you will never know what it's like to distrust people who treat you right because you don't feel like you deserve that. But like I said, if it's funny, by all means, tell your joke. Get your laughs. Just remember the responsibility that comes with language and the taste of your words. So, in case this isn't perfectly clear yet, you can say whatever you want. That said, a comedy club is not a sacred place. It's a man with a microphone who's not even a foot above the ground. And the flip side of that awesome microphone power is that we as the audience can respond however we want. So consider this your feedback. This morning I wrote a poem about rape and raw fish. I wanted to end it on a joke, but I wasn't going to force it.